This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below.
What a great time to be a fan of classic arcade games. We've had a great time reviewing these units you see behind me from the likes of your Basic Fun, Super Impulse, My Arcade, and stuff like that. More than the videos themselves, though, what I've enjoyed is reading your comments, your memories of the games and of these machines and what you think of them. And in fact, in one of the recent videos, we had a comment from Epic Lad who said, "John, you should do the Mappy My Arcade." Well, Epic Lad, this one is for you.
Don't you know that you're a grown-up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown-up.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for checking out this video as well as the rest of the channel. When I saw Epic Lad's comment, I was more than happy to oblige. You see, I've been buying these at a record pace and I can't even keep up producing videos as often as I buy these little machines. So I have a few on the shelf that I've never touched. So when Epic Lad said I wish you would do the Mappy, well, all I had to do was take it off the shelf because I already had it. Mappy is actually one of my sleeper favorites. It's one of those people either don't know about Mappy or they know about it and love it. There's almost no in between. Mappy was released by Namco in 1983. It was one of those in the arcade that I didn't run to, but after I'd played my favorites, I always went back to Mappy. Really enjoyed this game. It's so cute, it's so colorful. It's one of those games that was equally enjoyed by people of all ages. You could have women or men play the game. Everybody found something to like in Mappy in the arcade. Am I gonna find something to like in this version of Mappy from my arcade? Well, we're gonna find out in a second. Before we do, if this happens to be your first time watching Gen X Grown Up, I would ask you to look for that little bar that lifts, click that subscribe button in the corner, maybe tick that bell to enable notifications, making it easy to find way more Gen X inspired content just like this. All right, let's take Mappy to the table and see what it's got to offer right now.
I have said this a half dozen times, and I'm going to say it again. My Arcade does such a great job of presentation and respect for the original game. I mean, look, you have game history here on the side. You have this gorgeous artwork, across the top and the features and everything. Just the design of the cabinet, too, is just really great. And Mappy is so colorful. Oh boy, I'm ready to crack into this one and see what Mappy has to offer. Whoa, look at me, the colorful design just carries over into the packaging. Look at this bright, just vibrant colors. I mean, even that makes me it cheers me up. I want to see some instructions, we don't need those. Cheers me up to see something that is just so true to the game carried over into the packaging as well. And wow, the design of this Mappy cabinet. I mean, everything from, you got the mice peeking out from around the start button, which is also the coin insert box there. Look at this side art. Oh, that's gorgeous. I mean, it's not exact to the original arcade, but inspired by, harkens back to, invokes. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think they're shooting for, and they delivered on this Mappy. I'm glad I went the extra mile to try to find this one. Gorgeous. All right, so a quick tour around My Arcade cabinet. Again, I love how they're laid out. They look very much kind of chunkier than kind of the other offerings from your Basic Fun or Super Impulse. They show really well on a shelf. I mean, I would hate to have this one in the box. It's just so vibrant on the side here. But yeah, so you have, we've got a reset and a start button. We have a single kind of door button there for opening and closing the Mappy doors. The joystick is actually on a D-pad, which you can remove that if you are so inclined. Taking a tour around the back, battery's not included, but you can power it with micro USB if you want. There's also a headphone jack and a plus and minus volume rocker. I'm gonna peel off the fake Mappy screen. I will be saving that because I'll be using it later when I put it back on the display shelf. Let's get to the star of the show. Time to power it up with that awesome coin door power button that I've always found cool on my arcades. Yeah, look at there. Okay, this is definitely the NES ROM. The good news here is that the NES ROM already was a very worthy version of Mappy, and the NES was more than capable. And aside from kind of the flashing doors, don't flash all the colors, they just kind of flicker. But other than that, I mean, I think the NES was always a pretty good version of Mappy. So let's give it a try. The pitch is a little different than the arcade game, but I don't know if that's gonna bother me in the long term, but I'm already kind of getting used to it. Oh yeah, I mean, If you want the feel of Mappy, it's fine, actually. If you are a Gen Xer, it becomes more and more difficult to see the screens of this size. Oh, I got grabbed. That's why I have my reading glasses on to play Mappy. Something I never thought I would say in my youth. Gotta get to the bonus level. We have to pop all those balloons. That's just a great part of Mappy. I always look forward to. Got it. On to the bonus level. See if I can get a perfect on this, if I still remember how. Oh, I already screwed up, actually. I already wasted precious seconds. I want the big one. Last second. Missed one balloon, though. That's not too bad for not having played Mappy in, a few weeks. One thing I'll say I'm not a huge fan of is you can see there's a reset button right here that's very easy to, tap in the middle of playing if you're kind of getting rowdy with this. So it's easy to reset. Also, you can see it reset the high score when I hit the reset button. So not only does it not survive a power cycle, it does not survive even tapping this reset button. So man, if you are getting a high score and you want to save it, you had better get a quick picture or you're going to miss it, because that reset button or the power off is absolutely going to lose your score. Now I said this is the NES ROM. One thing I'm noticing from the NES ROM that's not here, so it's slightly modified I guess, is that there's absolutely no way to play two-player. Even though Mappy, you don't need two joysticks, you could easily play, taking turns. It doesn't allow for it here, which I really wish they would. I don't see any really good argument why you wouldn't have kind of pass it back and forth multiplayer enabled. But this is honestly one of those cases where even though this is not the arcade version of Mappy, I'm actually pretty happy with this. You maybe, unless you were an arcade enthusiast, I could see you not really knowing this wasn't the arcade version because it's so very close. I mean, it's the 4:3 aspect ratio and it actually feels a little bit squished to kind of make into this ratio, but I mean, the vibrant colors are there, the gameplay is there, the music is there. I mentioned a slightly different pitch, and frankly, by the end of this review, I'm already used to the different pitch. Now you can actually see here, I've got side by side the arcade version and this NES version, and just listen to the slight differences in the pitch of the music. That's what I was talking about. Not a big deal, but it is different at first blush. All in all, I will say I'm pretty happy with this version of Mappy. Unintentional rhyme there.
Hey, pretty good job, my arcade. I've got to say, this version of Mappy is, I'm out of things to say about it that might criticize it. I know it's not the original ROM, and I've criticized these other units in the past for being that, but Mappy has the advantage that the NES ROM they're using is so good already and such a great version. I mean, what more do you want? You have great controls, you have that beautiful side art, you have a version of Mappy that is almost exactly what you want, and if you want to play Mappy on the table for about 20 bucks, you could do way worse than this My Arcade version of Mappy. So I'm gonna give Mappy from My Arcade 4 tokens out of 5. Man, it deserves every single one of them. I love what they've done with this Mappy, and maybe more than the game, I love the cabinet design and just how beautiful the cabinet art is. I really hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, you made it to the end. If you liked this video, the best way to say thanks is to watch one more. Here are a couple suggestions that you just might enjoy. And if you love our content, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter by following the link on screen.
Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries.